Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're gonna have a video about how I look at pricing windows. Okay, so you might price windows a certain way. This is just how I do it. There's a couple ways you could do it. So you could do it per pane, per window. I think that's it. Yeah, per pane or per window. That's pretty much it. Um, so right now we're on the Andersen Windows and Doors because they're one of the biggest providers for windows and doors. So check this out. So window types. What kind of windows are there? There's different kinds. There's different thicknesses. There's different, there's double pane, triple pane. But right now, so this is what we call an awning window. So this one will crank from the bottom up, bay and bow. So this one's typically like in the living room. It could be in the kitchen, like a smaller version of it could be in the kitchen over the sink. So this one goes like, it's 3 parts. So it's the flat back and then 2 that go like this diagonally. You got casement windows that they crank. They have a little crank at the bottom. They're kind of, I hate cleaning those because I hate opening them. It's annoying. You got double and single hung. So these go up and down, as you can see there, up and down. Gliding left and right, pass through. These are like typically big windows and typically pretty long windows. And then you got picture windows. So these are typically these typically don't open. So and these are typically kind of high up. And then you got specialty windows like this, or there could be half moons. They could be circles and stuff like that. So pretty much for me, with the exception of bay and bow, these are all one window. See, some people might say this is 1, this is 2, or they could do by the pane. Let's say this is a French style, like this border here, and obviously that's physical, but let's say this line right here actually cuts these 2 in half and it's not in between the glass. Some people might say 1, 2, 3, but at the end of the day, that pretty much comes out to the same price, and you're just breaking it down more and or simplify. You just feel like you're charging more, right? This one, again, some people might say 1 and 2. For me, that's 1. Typically, I only deal with these kind of windows, so it's pretty easy. This one right here, only when we get to stuff like this and sliding doors, patio doors, this is where I break them up into panes. So this would be 3 windows for me. Again, 1. Okay. So we'll go down here, right? So this one's a little bit more intricate. You got these 2 above the door. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. So for me, this one, for me, size does not matter. It all gets charged the same because I do my quotes remotely. I just need to know how many windows you have, and that's it. 15 is 15 for me. This, if the customer counts this as 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 4 windows. The only time I ever change it up on the customer is stuff like, I think I saw one here. So I'll typically tell the customer, we'll go with this one as an example, whatever is in the frame, as long as it's a left and right, up and down window, that's 1 window. I asked them, do you have anything that's cut up, any French paints? So let's go with this. If the let's say I go to the house and quote this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 windows. This here, 1. Every break, every thick border break is a window. 1 and 2 in the back, 1 right there, 1, 2, and 3. Again, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3. This whole thing, I would just like, again, this is if I'm there. This is, that's just one big ass window. Let's look at more examples here. This one right here, this is per window, 1, 2, 3, 4. But I don't care what the size is. This is all gonna get charged the same. Again, as long as these aren't French panes, this is all 4 windows. Again, it's 4 windows. That is still going to cost the same as that. Just simple as that, just to keep things simple. So specialty type windows, this is where it gets a little bit more tricky. So right here is a perfect example of this is 4 windows, 1, 2, 3, and then the 2 double doors. So 5. All these, I don't charge extra. I don't charge less. This is all the same. If there's like 4 of these weird things all in a row, that's 4 windows. If you have something like this, I'm upcharging the fuck out of this, because if all this is physical and like that breaks up all this glass, it's gonna be a pain to clean, and you just might get hit with some Windex on that one, buddy, because I'm not squeegeeing all that. There's no shame in using Windex. You got to pick and choose your battles with the Windex. So like this house right here, this farmhouse style Victorian or American farmhouse style. That's all these windows, let's say $10, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. $22, so $220 right there. Let's say you're charging $10. Let's say if I was charging $10, all those windows, every thick cut is a window. So like you see here, this thick cut right here, that's a window. This right here, this will just be $40 all day long. Again, you can just cut this up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 6 times 10, $60. If that's all $10, I would just say that's 40, 50 all day. Like I said, there's more. There's bay and bows. Again, all this right here, that's just 3 windows. All cost the same to me. Doesn't matter to me. Keeps it simple. Let's go to the doors now. So right here, let's say, like I said, I pulled up on this dude's house. I think these are broken up. I think that is a physical thing, but it's still 1 window. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The only thing I do per pane is glass doors, but they pretty much comes out the same as a window price. Like this one right here, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 pieces of glass. Again, some people, like, this is a French style door. Some people want to do per pane because they feel like they're gonna get more, but it all basically comes out the same. This big old backyard house right here, this one would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We got 20 pieces of glass there. Again, if you're charging $10 for simple math, $200 just in the backyard alone. Like I said, it's just you just got to find the number you like and just charge it. And if people are paying for it, then cool. If they're not, lower it, raise it, whatever you got to do. So one piece of advice that I've learned a long time ago when it comes to providing services, if you are losing, like everybody's telling you no, your prices are most likely too high. If you're gaining every single job, or you're pretty much everyone's telling you yes on your first bid, there's 2 things that may be happening. Either you're spot on and you're right on the money onto what you should be charging, or in most cases you are the cheapest guy and they're just going to you. So what you can do to combat this is either call up your competition, give them a fake house, give them some numbers and see what they come back to you, and then compare what you would have charged for those numbers and see if you guys are in the ballpark. On average, people are charging between $10 and $30 a window. And then what else? So yeah, I would just say call your competition, see what they're charging. If you do lose bids, ask them, if they get back to you, like, cause sometimes they'll ghost you once they go with someone else. But sometimes they won't. And you just say, hey, thank you so much for considering me. I hope that we could have worked something out, but we couldn't. Do you mind sharing what you're going to pay with the other guy, or something along those lines? And hopefully they'll share it with you. That way you can have an idea, or try to say it helps my business grow to know that I'm being competitive. Or because if you're on the expensive end and they went with someone else, you still want to be competitive, because if you're too expensive, people aren't going to go to you, because unless you have like amazing reviews or you're highly sought after. So always try to see what your competition is at if you care. So especially if you're losing jobs because you're too high, you want to know like how much above everyone else are you, right? Yeah, and then when you're the first person to bid, do your best to be try to think like, all right, is this too high? It might not be too high, because sometimes once you're the first one and you don't close that deal and they go shop around, then you're gonna miss out. So I had this guy on the phone once that I closed him, but my availability was too far out for him to go with me. So he went shopping around. He said, I'll get back to you, because I think he liked the price. We built that rapport over the phone. He liked the price, but he had the ability to shop around. So I got back to him like, hey, I figured out a way to get you in on my books early if you want to move forward with the price. He told me, sorry, I went with someone else. They're going to get back to me. They're cheaper, and they're going to be coming out like literally the next day. So I was like, damn, all right, well, thank you so much. But I said, well, do you mind sharing with me how much the other guy is? So he didn't get back to me. He ghosted me, which is fine. But now I'm thinking, wow, this was just a simple outside job, exterior only, window cleaning plus gutters. So I charged him $400, and he said someone else got back to him cheaper. So they're either at $300 or $350, somewhere in that area. If they're any cheaper than that, wow, that's just, they must have a shitload of work, because to take that much of I couldn't do it any less than $300, because I was ready to cut my price down a little bit, because exterior only is nothing. What I was charging, the reason I came to that number is because gutters take a lot of time sometimes, depending how backed up they are. He said they hadn't been cleaned in like 3-4 years, so I just imagined that that was gonna take me a long time. The window part was gonna be easy, but I wanted to make sure I had enough time that I'm still making my money that I want to make every hour. But yeah, so that's typically how I look at these things. Again, I can't tell you what to price them because I don't know your market, and I don't know your speed level as well, because I also factor in my speed, how fast we can get the job done. So I don't know what your market is, and so whatever numbers I even tell you doesn't matter. But just what you could take away from this is how to price, how I look at each job and each windows. I think I gave a good amount of examples here. So yeah. So anyways, if you like the video, you know what to do. Like and subscribe. There's reviews on here. There's tips. There's stories. There's going to be interviews hopefully soon. And we'll go from there. All right. Well, if you like this video,